So I try to recognize that if you can move your body in a balletic way, a contemporary way, you're a good mover and you understand how to control your body, and we train our bodies to be able to adapt. And I think that's come with a little bit more maturity as I've gotten older. So I think I'm throwing myself into more types of movement and trying not to just box them all off. I'm trying to approach it as I'm a mover, I'm
Mm.
an artist, I guess. Like, for example, I've gotten into some crazy situations that I never would have imagined. For example, screen combat. Who would have thought I could ever do that? But then I realized watching it, it's just choreography of, you know, movements that are just a little bit more aggressive or a little bit more sharp. So I opened my world up to that. And then also, you see people go into aerial arts and, different types of movement. And at the end of the day, it all stems from the one thing, and that is that we have good control over our bodies. And sometimes I feel really confident going for a new thing, and a lot of the time I don't. So I just have to kind of mentally prepare and be like, okay, you can only do what you can, so just make the best of it and just give it a go. And if you're good enough, great. If you're not, it's a learning curve. I've learned a new skill or I've learned a new way of moving, and the next time I'll have that to kind of pull from, I guess. And that's happened to me a lot, going to auditions where all of a sudden they'll ask you to do something that's completely out of your comfort zone, or sing a song, or you know act a little bit, and it is scary, but you learn from those moments. And that you're not supposed to be perfect in the audition room. You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to kind of learn about yourself as well. So that's what I've kind of taken from that approach, and I feel
Yeah,
it helps for sure.
I love that mindset shift of the audition also being a learning experience and not a performance space. Like, I guess it's both, because in some way you do, but just even the opportunity to say, like, well, whatever the outcome of this, I'm going into it learning something or experimenting, or like you said, like becoming this like whole human being. And you, as you were talking that, I was thinking about a framework that I've been thinking about for a long, long time in many different areas that I haven't talked about on this podcast yet, but it's the specialist versus the generalist. And I think it's a really important concept. And you have literally just explained how you are in some ways like a generalist. Like, you have expertise in all these different dance styles, plus singing, plus acting, plus teaching. Like, you literally have such a broad like a broad range of skills and knowledge and experience. And that in our society, I feel like, is less valued than specialists, but it's no less of value. So I say this also as a generalist myself, obviously. Just in terms of having, like, yeah, lots of different interests, and not only in dance, but like, I love doing these podcasts. I'm also very into like science and research, and I also play the cello. So like, there's lots of different parts as well. So I totally resonate with what you're saying. But then I had to, at some point, understand that I wasn't a specialist in any one dance style. And like, when I finally let that go, that was when I could finally breathe. I could finally stop judging myself. I could finally understand that, how on earth am I in competition with people who've dedicated their life to ballet when I want to do all these other things as well? And it's not just that I want to do these things, but like, as you said, becoming not this and you're actually amazingly good at all the dance styles you dance. So you're also both a generalist and a specialist. But just identifying then as a mover, and like, I identify now as a bridge builder. So like, for me, it is valuable to have people who are able to bridge these different things together and to have these perspectives. And it doesn't surprise me that we're having this conversation right now either. And you have just all this wisdom also that goes behind that, because you've actually had to navigate in a world that expects us all to be specialists in something. You've actually had to navigate being like bringing all those things together and being so good in all of them, but also allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to train in different things and to do different things and to be learning in that process. So I think it's really beautiful. And I just wanted to bring that concept up for people who might be resonating right now, thinking like, I was always told, you know, I have to pick one thing, get really good at that thing, and that's going to be my job, and that's going to be my life, and then that's the end. Thank you very much, retirement, whatever. But I feel like now, with more opportunities to be a little bit more like entrepreneurial or be able to work for different people at the same time, that there's time and space now for us actually, for the generalists among us. And it doesn't work for everyone. Some people are amazing specialists, like they thrive in going really deep in like one thing and one place, and like they love the ritual of the repetition and stuff. Like that's not me. I like the variety and the different stuff. But just know, if you're listening to this right now, like there's nothing wrong with you if that's you too, and there's a lot of value in being able to bridge basically these different places and these different things. And so I love to just like hearing you describe yourself as a mover rather than being like, I'm a ballet dancer plus this and that.
And I mean, like, even the specialists of my industry who are exceptionally good at one dance style. Let's take ballet, for example. There are so many amazing ballet dancers that are in companies, and you know, they even never feel good enough. They never feel specialist. They never feel like they have achieved in that one style. And it makes it really hard for them then when, it's a really tough line to go into professional ballet, classical ballet companies. To come out of that, then you feel like you can't do anything else. You feel the industry isn't really built for that anymore. I feel the industry's moved, like you said, towards people who can do it all and at least try their hand at it all. And I think that there's a bit of a unfortunate kind of gap between the dancers that maybe aren't coming through the training now and the ones that are already in the industry who might not have that approach. But I can see it changing. I can see dancers that are realizing that they are so talented at moving, they can do all these other things. But unfortunately, it a lot of us aren't told that. We're not trained that way and with that kind of mindset given to us, and we almost feel like we need permission to jump into another type of work or another type of dance. And you don't have to be amazing at it in the beginning. You just have to try it and see and feel it out. And I think that's what I try to let go of with myself, is especially like with my social media and stuff. A lot of people might think of dancers who watch my stuff like, oh, but her foot isn't perfectly pointed here, or this isn't absolutely perfect there. And I had to let that go, because if you don't let it go, you won't do anything other than the thing that you think is your specialty. Or even people then struggle to put things out into the world because they feel that it's not good enough. And it is good enough. It's just not absolute perfection all the time. And I feel doing that has made me realize that I can just give things a try. It doesn't have to be the perfect package of absolute, rehearsed to a T, done 10 million times before I post it. I can just pick up my camera, film something because I'm having fun, or I'm listening to a song and I'm in a good mood and I want to put something out into the world. It doesn't have to be visually, technically perfect. And I find that liberating, because that's not how I was trained. I was trained with the complete opposite mindset of that it has to be perfect and you can always make it better. And I'm still that way when I film for jobs, for castings.